How's everybody doing? Good? So, how many repair shops do we have here? Everybody here own repair shops? Multi-store, anybody that has more than one store? Almost. Hey, well, this guy definitely does. How many stores do you guys have? 2 stores? How many you got now, Tom? 7? Hey. So, really, when they asked me to talk today about this topic, one of the things that came to mind was all the opportunities that I see across the country where there's no repair shops, and it drives me crazy. Because just a little background about me, I guess you guys would like to know maybe. For the last 5 years, I've been in the wireless repair industry on the supply chain side, but I spent the last 3 years of my life basically traveling around and living in repair shops, trying to learn from repair shops what they need in real time, from parts supply to software to marketing help, anything that we could do. So even though I worked for a parts supplier for 5 years, we really strengthened our brand and our growth with that customer base by being more hands-on and helping people grow their business. So I was fortunate to get thrown out into the field for the last 2 or 3 years, and so I can just kind of share a little bit about some of my frustrations that I see every day and opportunities in the wireless repair industry. So I'm going to jump up here. Is that okay? So anyways, how many you guys, are any of you guys in towns that are less than 100,000? Anybody in towns less than 50,000? 30,000? Nice, okay. These guys are doing well, right? You're doing real well. The only shop in town. So who do you got to compete with on pricing? Yeah, so nobody, basically. So you just get to go every morning, wake up to your beautiful shop, open the door, and set your prices no matter what you want to set them, and do pretty well. So how many people are in your town? What town is it? Nice. Nice. What city? Okay. Yeah, so you're almost like the county seat repair shop for the whole county. And that's great. And that's a lot of the opportunity that I've been seeing out there for the last year is a lot of people think that this whole industry is like saturated and, well, there's no more room to grow because everybody's already came in, and I got a guy that opened up on the corner. I got a guy open up down the street from me, but there's still great opportunities in towns like that. Not to give away your secrets, but stay out of the Quad Cities. But when I traveled around and I would do market blitzes, like I would go to some place like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I'd spend all day in Pittsburgh, and then I'd drive 30 miles outside of Pittsburgh and start getting off of every exit and looking to see if there was any repair shops in those towns. And 9 times out of 10, those towns in between the major cities, there's no repair opportunities. There may be a computer repair shop, or there may be somebody doing it out of their garage, but some of the best repair shops I can tell you that I've seen in the last several years come from towns of like 60 to 80,000 people. Pedro right there, TechRX, how many people are in Warner Robins? 60,000. And how much is your competition like? Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of my first tip to you guys is if you feel like your market's been crunched and you want to expand, drive 30, 40 miles outside of town and start looking at opportunities in those towns, because it's a great place to build your brand because the community really supports what you do. And all you guys are in bigger cities, if you're fighting all the time to get a school account or the big business account in that town, once again in these communities, you're a much bigger player for them, so you get a much greater opportunity to get that business from the schools in town and some of the small businesses in town. So that would be, and this is another guy from a great small town, Florence, South Carolina, August Langley. How many people are in your town? 40,000? And August, how many employees do you have? So they got 6 employees, so they're doing pretty good in that little town. So if I haven't made it clear yet, it was hard for me to stay employed by my employer and not just drop off in one of these towns and open a shop, because there's a lot of money on the table. So if you're looking for a new location, I do hope you consider, one of these smaller smaller towns. Don't overlook anything. I went to a town of 20,000 recently, and the guy was doing 30,000 in sales already. So don't overlook any opportunities. Another big thing that came up last year was the store-in-the-store model. Are you guys familiar with this? So a lot of people went into the Walmarts. I'm not going to name names, but a lot of folks went into the Walmarts across the country, and to be honest with you, it didn't go so hot for these people. And in my opinion, the Walmart concept didn't work out real well because one, what's a Walmart customer? What are they focused on? Price? And a lot of the Walmart customers too are dealing in phones that Walmart sells. And how many of you guys carry parts for the Kia Sarah phones? You got those on hand for a same-day repair? Nobody? So I don't think that the Walmart model, in theory, it was exciting. For somebody like me who's been in this business a long time, and I honestly am driven and motivated by your success, I get excited when you get opportunities. When the first couple guys called me and said Walmart had hit them up, and asked me what my opinion was, I was like, man, this is awesome. Walmart's taking us serious. Like our crazy little Wild West world 3 years ago, when something like that happened, it was really exciting because there was like a legitimate, something legitimate was going to happen for us. So unfortunately that didn't really work out, but we have seen some people be successful with it. There's a company in the Midwest called Phone Surgeons that went into Nebraska Furniture Mart, which is Warren Buffett's big furniture store in Omaha, Dallas, and Kansas City, where I'm from. And they've had a lot of success. So it does show that if there's traffic and you're in the right environment, the store-in-the-store model can work. And if you guys want to talk later, I do work with a gentleman who does have 1,500 lease spaces in a grocery store opportunities across the country. So a lot of them in some of these smaller 60 to 80,000 population towns. So if you guys are interested in talking about a store-in-the-store model, that would be in your local community grocery store. It's something I could talk and discuss with you later on. And I guess I'll defend that against Walmart just because how many times a week do you go to the grocery store? 3, 4 times? And how many times do you go to the liquor store next to the grocery store? 3, 4, I mean, you guys don't have to be honest, but like maybe a couple times? And then, I'm thinking of my strip mall in my neighborhood. I got a hardware store, a grocery store, a liquor store, a Hallmark card store, a coffee shop. I mean, I'm basically in that strip mall like every day. So to me, that's a pretty good opportunity. It's a pretty low lease monthly. Once you get your build out, the lease is pretty low monthly. So the store-in-the-store model will work if you make good decisions. I've seen everything over the years of repair shops and car shops, repair shops and gas stations. Maybe stay away from that model, but there's some other cool opportunities popping up out there if you're looking to scale your business and grow and expand your community. So I guess if we get to the bare bones of it, what are some of the most important things to look for when picking a store location? So August, help me out. What was the number one thing you were looking for when you opened your first store? So, and that's a great topic, is visibility. So when you pick your location, is it accessible, is it viewable from all over? I mean, do you approach this location from this side, this side, this side, this side, and can it be easily seen on the street? Because once again, I can tell you, from most of my time out in the field, which has been the last 3 or 4 years, I've struggled to find a lot of repair shops. And I've had the address, I've had it in Google Maps, and so it's really hard to see and find some of you guys that are like tucked away behind into a strip mall. So visibility is key, but visibility from every side, every angle. And if you can get a strip mall where they got a sign out in the street, even better. So you can see, even if you are way back around the corner, as you approach that, you see it up on the sign and people know you're there. What's the thing everybody's looking for though when they open a shop? I mean, what's the one universal thing all of you guys have tried to, where are you trying to be close to? Traffic? Is there a certain retailer that you want to be close to? AT&T. Starbucks, I like that. No, the number one thing everybody's been trying to do over the last year or two is to get as close to the AT&T, the Verizon, the T-Mobile, the Sprint as possible. And go and build relationships with those guys. And I assume that's all you guys are doing that, right? Everybody? I mean, you're paying money to be at CTI. I assume you've knocked that one off the list. You figured that one out. So a couple other ideas that I see folks doing now is moving into spaces outside of just the carrier stores and looking at opportunities to get close to the landline and cable line folks in town, because a lot of those folks are going to a model where their devices, their remote controls for their TVs, for the dish networks and all these things are all now going to an iPhone or a tablet. And so seeing some folks in some communities build relationships with these cable companies and phone companies in their town. Some of the smaller communities have, some approachable opportunities. It's not the big landline cable like Comcast kind of deal, but every town has like a fiber company, and I think if you guys get close to those guys as well, they have a lot of devices in there that they're churning, and people that come to them naturally to get their remote control fix, which is a tablet. Like Google Fiber came to Kansas City a long time ago, a couple years ago, and they deployed, Nexus tablets? Does anybody remember what they did? When you get Google Fiber, you actually get like an Android tablet. So there's some opportunities there to get to know those people, get close to their service centers. Is there any other thing that you look for? Has anybody had any other success? I'm curious to know things that work for you guys. Sure. A Subway and a CVS. And what town are you in? Columbus, Ohio. Nice. You ever thought about expanding to Springfield, Ohio? There's about 160 miles around Springfield in the county, about 150 miles around Springfield, Ohio. There's like one repair shop. Write that down. That's a free one for you. Once again, I can tell you, there's a lot of places out in the country that there's not a lot of opportunities to get your phone fixed. So if you guys ever want to get my information, and if any time you're trying to brainstorm a new town to go to, a city to go to, I'd love to talk to you, because like I said, I've been kicking myself for 2 years for not going to some of these towns, just like getting off the road and starting a new life. So I actually like small towns a lot. So another factor in looking for a good shop is so this is more for if you're expanding, if you're going to open a new shop in town. Do you guys ever go and talk to your competition? You guys good with your competition in town? Because I'm telling you, I'm talking to a lot of people this week that are interested in maybe getting out of this business, and they're here because they're looking to maybe sell their stores. And I get phone calls from a lot of guys too that are looking to get out of this business. So that's one option you can always take too. Go to that town that you're looking to grow in and talk to the guy that's already there and see if there's an opportunity to maybe, take over an existing shop. Because how many of you guys have been in this business longer than 5 years? Yeah? Chris, how easy did it used to be? Remember the good days when remember when you got to just do back covers on iPhone 4s? Right? Everybody remember those days? How much did you charge for a back cover on an iPhone 4? How long did it take you? Did you ever feel bad about it? No? But anyway, going back, there's a lot of people that were in the high life of this industry for 3 or 4 years when it was that easy. You would replace a back cover on an iPhone 4 for $30 to $50. It took 2 minutes. Life was grand. Then things got hard. There were screen shortages. Competition moved into town. And honestly, a lot of guys just kind of got burned out. So, honestly, talk to people around your community or the next town over, and there may be some opportunity to grow your brand. Because ultimately, that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to make our brand stronger in an area. So that's all I got from my time today. Does anybody have any questions, suggestions? Anything else that worked for anybody else? Any secrets anybody else wants to give up to why they picked their location?
You need to, I think it's important to connect with the community leaders.
Absolutely.
And the people that are trying to build the inner cities now that the cities are people want to live in the urban areas. There's, like in Dayton, Ohio, there's pop-up shops that actually help you find a location. Mm-hmm. Site seekers in Dayton as well. You just go to them and they they find the places for you, and then you can choose. And some actually assist you in your rent and things like that. So find a community that, you know, used to be, you know, not so hot to live in, and now it's starting to grow. Cities like Toledo and things like that. And another important aspect is to keep, I think, your rent low. Keep a low overhead, keep things reasonable. Don't try the biggest, most expensive gadget if you can just fix it with a knife. So don't over-gadget yourself.
There's some pretty high rent repair shops out there. But that's a good point. There is a lot of towns in this country that are trying to get rebuilt, and there's actually programs in those towns where they want you to build in that town. So always go to the economic development councils in that town and the Chamber of Commerce's and see if there's opportunities in that town to get some money even to help you guys build and open a new shop. There's a lot of these smaller towns, there's a lot of programs, I can tell you, that exist. So that's going to be my time for today. Unless you guys want me to talk anymore. No? All right. Thank you guys very much.